All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ruach Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. The title of this video, all right, is as you can see, all right, you have to sacrifice the something along these lines, but you got to sacrifice, all right, the old you or the current you, all right, depending on where you are, for what you will become. You have to sacrifice what you are for what you will become. Okay, in the sense of, let me start off with this to set the presets flowing. All right, knowing what we are truly destined to be. Okay, Psalms 82 verse 6. All right, it says, I have said ye are gods, and all of you are the children of the Most High, referring on to the Israelites. But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. All right, so although we're gods, being in this mortal flesh, like it tells you in the book of Jude, being in this mortal flesh, these chains of darkness, all right, we die like men, okay. But understanding that's what we will become again. All right, we will become true gods on earth. Okay, therefore we have to sacrifice this mortal man. All right, and by that I mean the things that'll please this flesh, the things that'll make you happy in this world. All right, you got to sacrifice for the truth. Okay, now that doesn't mean you can't do anything. You just got to meditate in a cave for all eternity. No. All right, you of course you do your little activities that what I'm saying, on the side and whatnot. Of course, as long as it's lawful. Okay, but when it comes to this truth, when it comes to making time for this truth or other things, you gotta sacrifice those other things for this truth, which in turn is sacrificing the current you for you what you become. Because in this ministry, the Lord promised us, all right, he promised us salvation, but not only that, but he promised us change. He's going to change our bodies, he's going to change our minds, he's going to change our habitation, everything. Okay, and we're gonna become God kings. Okay, therefore you gotta be willing to give up the mortal for immortality, like the scriptures say. Okay, and in order to do that, man, it goes into sacrificing, man. Okay, it goes into sacrificing, because greed is an attribute of the flesh, all right, of this wicked flesh. Okay, not being able to let go of something that's bad for something that's good or better. Okay, and that's something that we need to sacrifice. That's why you got to be in a disciplined mindset. All right, in order to be a disciple, you have to be disciplined. That way, when the Lord requests things, you don't hesitate. You don't if, ands, or buts. You just do it, because it's your flesh. All right, it's your flesh that'll cause you to go off, or cause you to be lazy to do the works or whatever it may be, because it wants to stay in that old man. It wants that old you back. The demons, they want to come back and hop on you again, but you have to be willing to sacrifice that. It may be difficult, but it's not impossible. Okay, so this is Paul speaking. Okay, so just getting to the point, Philippians 3 verse 7. But what things were gained to me, all right, what he considered a good gain, like in this world, it will be money, cars, women, whatever it may be. Those fame, status, popularity, those I counted loss for Hamashiach. Because if you notice, once you come into this truth, you lose a lot of things, because they're not compatible. You can't bring them with you into the truth, so you have to leave them back at the door. All right, and that's why Paul said, I counted those gains loss for Hamashiach. Okay, so he was willing to sacrifice all of that for the Lord, because he understood that him sacrificing who he was, Saul, all right, to become Paul, it was a greater gain. Okay, it says, yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Hamashiach Yahushai, my Lord. See, and that's why Paul said nothing can separate us from the love of the Lord, man, not even death. It says, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung, that I may win Hamashiach. Because when you're in this truth, you have to be focused. You have to be focused, and this has to be your number one priority. You can have other things, but as long as they're not taking you away from the truth and distracting you, they're good. But if they're trying to be in competition with this ministry, with the Lord's work, then you have to count them dung. You have to count them lost. You have to cut them off, that you may win Yahushai, because it's either, you can't have both. All right. And if you give into the flesh, well, you're gonna lose your Yahushai, and you ultimately you're gonna lose your life. Let's put it that way. Okay. So going to the next precept. This is 1 John chapter 3 verse 2. All right. So it says, "Beloved, now are we the sons of the power, and it doth not yet." It says, "It doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is." Now this is talking about Yahweh Shai when he comes back. The scriptures say he's not gonna meet thee as a man, okay? And whatever he's like, that's how we're gonna be, being joint heirs. All right, so we're gonna be like Yahweh Shai. All right, and that's why he said, "And it doth not yet appear what we shall be like," because we don't know exactly how Yahweh Shai is gonna look. You know, what form of angelicness, if that's even a word, he's gonna be in. But we know it's gonna be great, and that's why he says, "But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is." And that is what we're sacrificing to become. We are sacrificing us now in this flesh, all right, to become like Yahweh Shai when he comes back. Okay, to be. Oh, let me read the next verse. "And every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself, even as he is pure." See, and that's what we want. Because right now our spirits might be pure, but we're trapped in these flesh, in this horrible prison. Okay, and that's why when the Lord comes back, he's going to break us free from these chains of darkness. But we have to keep the spirit alive. We have to keep the spirit fighting. All right, that's that light within you, and the flesh is the darkness. Okay, and if you're not able to contain and keep your flesh under subjection, that darkness is going to go wild and it's going to consume up the light in your spirit. Okay, and once that happens, well, you just need to be destroyed in order to reset that. All right. So this is Hebrews chapter 6 verse 10. "For the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have showed toward his name, in that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister." Okay, because and that goes into a part of sacrificing once again. Okay, the days in which we go out there to teach, we sacrifice those days. All right, we sacrifice the things that we used to do in the world in order to do this work. You know, and that's a labor of love, because we do it. Of course, we fear the Lord, but we also do it out of love. All right, out of love for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and our people and our nation, we do this. Okay, and the scripture say he's not unrighteous as to forget our labor of love. Okay, that's right there showing you, man, that like the scripture say, making your body a living sacrifice, the Lord is going to reward you accordingly. Okay, so this is 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 20. It says, "For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord Yahweh Shai," or Salakia, "through the knowledge of the Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai Mashiach," all right, when you come into the truth, you escape the pollutions of the world. Because when you're in the world, you have demons on you. All right, you don't know what the truth is. You're just going with the flow, going with the motion, the vibration of this world. But when you come into this truth, the Lord takes that away from you. He cleanses you. He purifies you with what? The knowledge. Okay, and so once you do that, that's and a part of that is being willing to sacrifice, all right, everything you had in the world to be free and rid and see the world as it is. So here it says, "But if after all that they are again entangled therein and overcome, the latter end is worse with them than the beginning." Yeah, because being in this world, there's so many different webs that are willing to ready to grab you up and tangle you. So you just gotta. Okay. Of course, being in this world, we have to obviously play our role. You know, like in the be our Clark Kent when we need to. All right, but staying out of trouble is the best way to go. You know, if you know that going here, there's traps there that are gonna catch you, then you don't go that way. All right, you just do what you gotta do, and then you know what I mean. You keep it pushing. Not all this extra stuff, man. That's how you get entangled in the world. You know, next thing you know, you caught up in some stuff that's leading to something else. That's leading to something else. All right, here it is. The Lord done freed you. All right, you might have had an adultery or smoking demon on you, but the Lord freed you, and then you're gonna go back and hang with your boys who are gonna be smoking right in front of you, knowing you have that temptation. Or you're gonna hang out with your one of your boys' girls. All right, when he's not home and it's just you and her, knowing that you had an adulterous demon on you. All right, that's you having escaped the pollutions of the world, and now you're getting entangled again. Well, the scripture says the latter end is worse with them than the beginning, because you knew. Now is plain disrespect, because you knew. All right, you were ignorant. The Lord opened your eyes. You knew you were forgiven, and now you went right back to it. So you basically turned your back on the Lord and said, "F you." You know, I know what it is you want me to do and what it is you don't want me to do because you've shown me, but I'm still gonna go back and do it. All right. That's like when your parents, when you're gonna do something, you know what I mean? Like they say it's better you do it and then you tell it and then you let them know than to ask for permission and they say no and then you still do it. Now that's even worse, you know. So it says, for it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness, all right, than after they have known it to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them. See, and that commandment is once you have known this, man, you got to do the works. You have to come back to your nationality and actually be an Israelite. Okay, once you know what's right, and I mean, now if you do wrong, you ain't got no excuse. Ignorance ain't bliss anymore. Your eyes are open. So what you need to do in order to keep your eyes open is sacrifice. Okay, it says, but it has happened unto them according to the true proverb: the dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the soul that was washed to her wallowing in the mire. See, so that dog won't see it as vomit. You know, oh, I'm going back to this, but that's what it is to the Lord, man. That's what it is. Going if you out here, you can't endure, which the scriptures tell you in Sirach, the 2nd chapter. You got to come ready. All right, set your heart aright and constantly endure. Okay, and sacrifice is a very big thing in that. Okay, so this is 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 4. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. Keep in mind, the Lord chose us, and so we have to give him our all. All right, we're at war. We're in a spiritual war right now. So there's no time to get entangled with fleshly desires. You know, especially ones that'll distract you and keep your and won't keep your mind focused on the battle. Okay, that we may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier, because now the Lord knows you are a loyal and valuable soldier because you're staying firm. You know, through all the different things, you're staying firm. You know, and those are men who the Lord is looking for. All right, so this is 1 John chapter 2 verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Now keep in mind the flesh. All right, the flesh loves the world. That's why it says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. It's not of the Father and is of the flesh. So what do you have to do? You have to sacrifice that flesh. You have to sacrifice the you, all right, that fleshly you, that old man that you used to be, for the new man that you will become. All right, which we're in the process of becoming that new man, that full-on immortal God King. Okay, so what? And of course, now this doesn't mean hate everything in existence. No, all right, but you have to know the balance, and you have to know like certain things that you might have loved previously in the world because the world taught you to. You have to cast those things away, man. Okay, because that's not what the Father. That's not of the Father. All right, that's not of the Father, man. Okay, so hey, a very matter of fact, I'll end it with this. 2nd Ezra chapter 2 verse 45, getting to the point. Actually, I'll start at verse 43. It says, and in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. And this is why we're fighting, man. So which this young man was talking about Yahushua. All right, it's referring to Yahushua. All right, and he set the crowns upon the heads of the elect. Okay, and that's what we're fighting for, man. That crown. Okay, that crown of life. It says, so I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing. See, sacrificed the man they were, or sacrificed who they were, or what they were, for what they will become, and put on immortality. So you have to give up the mortal to put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High, which is Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. All right. Now are they crowned and receive palms. See? So this is what it is, man. This is the goal. In order to progress, you have to do away with the old. What's holding you back, you have to get rid of it. Okay? You have to get rid of it, man. So jumping down to verse 47. So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly, once a key word, stiffly, for the name of the Lord. And how did they stand so stiffly? By sacrifice, man. How do you think Paul was able to go through what he did? because he sacrificed everything he had. That so there's no distractions at that point. You know, he sacrificed everything he had. All right, for because he knew what he was in it for. Okay, and that's the mindset we have to carry. Okay, so that was the last precept I had. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai and Shalom.